Monday, so we say mid-morning, 10 to 12. Been in the office all morning trying to sort all the invoices out, paperwork, sorting some customers out that have been on. It's the fun part of the job. Not my favourite part, but because I hate this office, it's all pen and paper. Apart from the invoices that I do, that are all computerised and files. But we'll get there eventually. I'll resort all this out, get rid of all this and all this. But so far today we've had lads in for shotblasting for the pipes. It's been down this morning, dropped weighted as well, so we were busy getting them blasted, talking to them as well, because there's some more jobs coming up as well tomorrow, and you've got a pattern of theirs getting made at the moment. So sorting collections out, sorting when things need to be done, which is obviously a part of the job. But not bad morning so far. We've got Moulding to carry on with. Steve's doing all of the dressing because we're expecting some shot blasting to come in from another part coating firm, local one. One of the parts of the wagon parts or the job, so we're waiting for them to come in. So Steve's doing the dressing before he blasts the gates. But the dust extractor. So obviously we fitted it, and it was all working again Friday, and we know we hadn't messed the motor up. But the control panels, something's up with it. The electrician's just been on, coming out this afternoon. So hopefully we'll figure out what is up with that. Starting to get quite annoying now. Obviously they've been out a couple of times, and obviously something's not right with it. The motor's fine. I think obviously there's something not right with the control panel. But it is what it is. As an energy fella, I'm moaning because I didn't go with them with the energy contracts, because I've sorted, in the end we sorted them out with someone. Just, we couldn't be bothered with the hassle of people ringing and pestering. So I can just tell people it's done. Yeah, might have done people's head in, but at the end of the day, I can't handle it. Got a fella come on for some cast panels. Paul had priced them up. He rang, and they're a metre panel. And he went, "Hey, the 900, I've took 900 off, milli off." I went, got the tape measure, looked at it and went, 900 off it? I said, "Well, how big is it?" He says, "Well, it's a metre. But you took 900 off it." So it was only 90, but you got it wrong, it was only 90. But let's go and do some moulding now. So here we are making cylinder engine blocks. This is the first half of the pattern we're ramming up now. Bit of a different one. It's quite a bit of a lump. Off the top of our heads we went, it's probably going to only be about 40 kilo, but when we cast it, which you'll probably see later on, it was a lot heavier than 40 kilo. It's just one of them. But making it, great job making it, just because obviously it's a split pattern, it's quite simple to make. Obviously ram both parts up to make the mould. However, the cores that go in it were quite tricky. As you can see on the first part, there's two core prints either side, which creates a long solid core in the centre. And you might see now the little square that's on, see the little black piece now that we can see now, that was for another core. That core was completely different. It was dead small, quite tight, probably would have been blown in. The core should have been blown in, then rammed up the way we did it. So it can be compact, because it's very thin and it's quite tricky. But that core will then sit in the straight core, which you'll see in a minute. Once we've rammed this one up, it's just same again, fill the box up as usual. Quite simple, but effective. Quite a bit of sand going into it. As you can see, you've got to make sure you're tucking it all the way around. You don't want no weak spots. Obviously David there is using the ramming stick. Always smoothing the top of the box, especially with the runner side. Right, let's open it. Let's see what it looks like. My favourite part, David trying to balance the crane. Love that little puff of smoke as you open it off the part and powder. As you can start to see, you can see both moulds, top and the bottom, starting to take a bit more shape and realistic. Obviously the nudges, but now time getting this big boy out. Using a good wood screw. As you can see, it's quite a big hole to fill, big lump. But we had this big core. You can see that big core there now, which is on fire. And then there's the little cores. They're already done because they've been hardened with a special chemical. And obviously got mould coat on as well. There you can see it in David's hand now. Well, that one's still on fire. Look how tricky that is. So that core sits into that core as well as sitting in its own core print. You can see he's going to make sure that one fitted first. See, bit of a tricky one. It's got irons in it going through it as well. Obviously adding strength to the core and the sand. Making sure it all fits. Now a little bit of glue to keep the boxes together. You can see the box to the left, or forwards, should we say. They are clamped as well. Sometimes we put clamps on, sometimes we don't. Obviously you're going to put weights on anyway. You can see the runner at one end and the riser at the other. And then that's it. That's that job closed, ready. Well, part once it's finished with the runners and risers put on the top. That job's done. Using the pins as well, key, keeping it straight as coming down. So it's Tuesday. Just gone lunchtime, just had our break, 2 o'clock. So busy little start of the day. Obviously cracking on with, I'm making the spindle things. And David's making these aluminium, well, no, they're not aluminium, they're going to be ductile brackets that are in aluminium. It's an aluminium pattern, that's why I'm getting confused. But we just had all the truck parts come in. There was 6 pallets of jobs. So they're all getting done, but the gates that come in yesterday, Steve's been blasting them, but he's having problems with the shot blaster. So I'll just show you the jobs I'm making. It's just taking its time because I haven't got the boxes. The boxes are getting bigger and bigger. So got a phone call off customer before to see how we're getting on with his job. So it was like, and Paul had dealt with him before he went away. And we were talking about the job. And this is the job. Wanted to know how we're getting on. And he wants 10 sets. And I've got to work off this with no pattern, and realistically, I don't know if you can tell. Let's have a look what side. If you look at that side, if I ram that up in the sand that way, it's going to be hard to get that out because it's perfectly straight, and obviously when this has been made in the past, it's been made with a core. The core, because it's nice and straight, and the core would obviously make the inside. So I was like, well, could make it that way, sitting on the floor like that, the board like that, and ram it up. Then it'll get stuck there. But he also wants more machining across the top, an extra 6mm and 6mm there. In the end, we said to the customer, I said, right, we'll just have to make them solid. Well, the customer said, when he rang up and we said, oh, how are you getting on? I got told to ring next week. He was like, I'm busy at the moment, so obviously having a man down, we're trying to do everything, but we've got a lot to do. We've got these jobs need to be getting out. Because I've got more jobs coming in as well, so everything just happens at once, doesn't it? But with these, and especially aluminium, it was like, in the end, they said they were like, he'll drill that out, machine it out. Which is probably better for me, because now I can either make it technically that way, or still make it that way. Obviously the same as that, and what I'll do is I'll just get 6mm board, cut it out, stick it onto there when we go to make it, and stick it onto there. And that'll get me the thickness for, well, 1, it'll block the hole, and 2, it'll add their machining on, which is what he wants. So it's Wednesday morning, got a busy morning on the cards today. We've got the electricians coming out to come and fix the control panel for the dust extractor on the blaster. So they're meant to be coming today, first thing, touch wood. But we've also got a load of pipes getting dropped off, between 30 and 50 pipes, but these pipes are going for pickle after it, which obviously cleans the insides out. They're fuel line pipes off the ships. So
I need to know if we've got to keep them inside to keep them dry, or they can go outside like we do with the galvanising ones in case they get rusty. Obviously the weather at the moment's alright, so we should be, touch wood, should be sound on that part. But obviously loads of blasting in now. There's another set of gates there next to me, there's all the truck parts there all going to be up and done. I've got a load of chairs in as well, but they can wait. The customers said 2 to 3 weeks for them. But the pipes, obviously, pipes come priority because they've got to be done. They're off ships, they've got to be done turning around quickly. But yesterday, we opened one of the tanks for the air for the blaster that was full of water. So I'm just coming. So we're just coming in now to see if it's got water everywhere, which it hasn't, which is all good. David's just arrived now, so I can hear him. There you are. I was just checking the water. We opened the tap last night and tried to make like a little channel. I just got the pickaxe thing and started smashing it all. It's all that much shot. I just turned the light on because I couldn't see. Oh, moulding front. I'm still chipping away at these. There's one box there. My boxes are getting smaller and smaller, so I've got like another 2 pairs of them boxes. And then I've got another style box which I can't roll them off. I've been rolling these ones off. Obviously it's just easier. But the next ones I can't roll off because the boxes are slightly wider, etc. I don't think I'll get away with it, so I'll have to rebed them in and then roll them ones off. But it is what it is. We've got this job, which David's made 2 off. The customer supplied the moulding boxes because they're from another foundry. They wanted us to do them. That one so he supplied the 2 boxes, but there's 5 off, and we haven't got the boxes that match the pins. And on that board, there's that board, which with that pattern in. And obviously, the pins locate the top box and the bottom box together. So we need the exact boxes, and there's only 2 and there's 5 off and it's SG. And so we're gonna have to try and take the battens off, screw them together and then pin the boxes through to each other ourselves, drill them and do them a different way with our own boxes. That's what we've got to do to get the job completed. We're finishing this. There's 4 of these of an aluminium sample, which is, there's the mould there. So the way David done that is he bedded it in, tucked it in on the job, and then once you've done that, it can be a bit difficult because of the tucking and that, but we've got it done and got it. There's so many done now. There's 4 on the floor and there's another 1 to do. But we're also expecting a pattern to come in today that's urgent. They emailed, should have been here the other week. It's got to be on for the train, and it's got to be on the train for the 14th. So it's obviously, we've got to make it, we've got to get it there, they've got to get it machined and then get it on. They've got their own machine shop, so that part's sound. But they want 2 straight away, but I'll probably do all 6, there's 6 in total. Otherwise it's too much messing around. But so far, that's it for a Wednesday. We've got loads to go ahead with. Hard work, because you're in and back and forward to the office, but it is what it is.
So let's mould one of the spindles. Obviously I needed the bigger box. First steps first, fill the box with sand. Get mixed up, and obviously you can see, once I've scraped the top off, I'm going to place this on, get the hammer, bed it down as much as to where I feel like it's right, and then I decided to tuck it. I didn't really need to tuck it because it's only small, but I did. Made me make the job a lot longer, and then you'll see the sand started to go off, and once the sand started to go off, it was game over. So what I was doing there is doing the outside. I always try and go for a nice smooth finish, a bit like plastering in a way, you know, that nice smooth finish. If you scrape the sand, it'll go rough, and I don't like that because that creates the joint being rough. So I want it smooth, I want it compact, I want it tight. To me, that creates the better joint. You'll see how the castings come out in the end, but yeah, Obviously, there's a lot of sand left over as well. I'm hopeless at judging with the sand sometimes, but it is what it is. We just carry on and carry moving. David used a bit there. He's using it to make some calls before it had all gone too hard. Quite tricky because there's a lot of little different key little parts, as you can see. I'm just working away at it, putting a little bit of sand in there and there, trying to see how it will come and how it'll come out. Obviously, when you're creating the joint on something like this, you don't go all the way to the top because it's tapered both sides. It's like a bevel, it's curved. So you go halfway, so half stays in the bottom half and then half will stay in the top half. Putting your nudges in, 100% key again. Need that for your location. Blowing the top off there just to give me a bit of an idea of where I'm at. The little tool there I'm using there is a cleaner. Little foundry tools. Don't even think you can buy them anymore, so we normally just make our own. But these have been around for years, these ones. So we're just taking, it looks like I'm tickling it, but I'm taking a fair bit off because it was too high. You've just got to make sure it's spot on, because the better your joint, the better your casting. To me, these all were perfect. Obviously I took it out so I could make it all level. I didn't want the joint to be up and down, but that's why I'm just using the sandpaper. You can tell the sand hadn't gone too hard, but it was hard enough. It was already taking shape, so it was like, yeah, one of them where you just got to get it out and get on with it. But that was mainly it. Yeah, it looks alright. You'll have to see what the castings look like. I don't know if it's this video or the video after. So it's Thursday, midday. So a little busy morning. We've had another drop off of pipes, which I'll show you in a minute. So that we've had to, in fact I'll show you now. Let's go and have a look. They're all done. They come in before. These ones here. So we had to stop the existing order that we were already on to go on to them, because they need to be done first. And then he's coming back, he left. He's going to pick up the blanks and like big flange things. So now when he comes to pick these up in a minute, which he should be on his way back to pick them up, he's dropping them other ones off, which we've got to go straight back onto them. But the ones he dropped off yesterday, we've got a couple of big ones to do now. Obviously we've got all them. He wants us to pallet them all up as well, and then we whammy them, as we call it. So far so good. But we've also got all the little ones, which are all still here. We've got to do all of them. There was an actual stainless steel one in, and he rang us and said, make sure you don't do the stainless one. Is there a stainless one there? And I was looking, I was like, just at first glance, you know, just by the eye, and going, no, there's nothing there. When he come before, we were looking, he went, and we both looking, I went, yeah, look at that one there. That's got different flanges. That must be that one, stainless steel. So all the flanges are all shiny and that, but it's got a stainless steel with carbon sheet plate. It has a carbon steel plate on it, and like a sleeve, carbon sleeve as well, because that's what I found out, the plates that are on the pipes, that's where the bulkheads go on the ships, and that's where they get it welded in. So that didn't need to be blasted, that can just go straight for pickle. But we've just had a delivery of some patterns, some firebar brackets, which are here. But they're urgent. They should have ordered them last month and they hadn't. So we've got to get pushed them through. I'm finally on my last box of them spindles. So get them done. Ram the top up now, I'm halfway through. Get them ready and then cast the SG, which will be nice and fun. But got so much to do, which is great. Keeping us ticking over. The blasting is obviously up the wall at the moment, so everything else is getting delayed. But other than that, nice and busy on a decent Thursday.
So we've just cast, but Steve has just finished all of the pipes that are going for pickle. So what I have to do is whammy them up. Here they all are. Good old blue rope. Whammying it up as the driver calls it. That's all pretty tight, that as well. He's done obviously all of the smaller ones, which are all done as well. They're all there, all ready now to go on the other order of pipes, and then onto, once they're done, onto the big flange and plates. We're just packing up now for the day, but obviously all the castings are finished, got them all done, ready. Look at my variety of boxes on my spindles. We didn't have enough metal for 2 of the jobs, and with the time, one of the lads, David, had to get off, so we couldn't cast two of them train parts, but we cast 3. They were heavier than we expected. We thought they would have been about 40 kilo off the top of our heads, but we reckon they're going to be about 80. They took a fair bit, a lot more than we expected, but it is what it is. Back in tomorrow, first job of the morning. We'll be taking all the weights off. Steve will be straight back on the blaster. So it'll be me and David take the weights off, then knock all the jobs out. Might have to start the... No, take it off, stay. I've got them train parts to mould as well tomorrow, so before so we'll get them moulded. Try and see if we can cast tomorrow to get rid of them, because they're desperate. Because if we could get them done, get them sent out, especially for next week, because they're after them. The date is, so we haven't got much time to get them done. We've got 10 days, 10 full days. Oh no, sad, it is what it is. We'll get them done, we'll get them out. Just had to do with fellas being on for a price for it, some church gates. We were all broken. I don't know if we'll get the job, there's other foundries bidding on it. So we sent pictures, so I rang him up just to I prefer having a conversation over the phone than emails. You can't get I can't get it in my head over properly, do you know what I mean? So just having a conversation with him, seeing what it is, and it was a good job I did, because I was going to price it up off working off the original, which sound, we'll work off the original. To be honest, I probably prefer working off the original when it comes to something like that, because you can hit it with the hammer. You can't hit a wooden one with the hammer. I can bed it in loose, do you know what I mean? So I can do my own joint. Yeah, it might take a little bit longer, but well, that saved money on the pattern. Pattern's going to be a lot of money. If we get the job, we'll see. If we don't get the job, hopefully he'll let us know and I'll show you. But it was all broken, so I was like making sure that he had one, or did I have to repair that one? Because if I've got to repair that one, I've got to repair that one. Would it save them money? Probably, because you wouldn't have to get a pattern. Would it save them time? 100%, because you wouldn't have to have a pattern maker to make it. It'll take me, say, a good 2 days maybe to get it in pristine order to where I'm happy. No more than 2 days. How long will it take for the pattern? 2, 3, 4 weeks. So obviously time's money, but obviously if they want to pay for a new pattern, they can pay for the new pattern. But anyone can work off a new pattern. Do you know what I mean? It's it'll be on a board, because it's about 2.1 meters by 1.6. There's 4 of them as well, so obviously that's probably why he's getting a new pattern. But what would I personally do? I'd probably just work off the sample. You've still got to get the same results, aren't you? So it is what it is. So hopefully price that up tomorrow. Going to give them 2 prices, a cast iron price and a ductile iron price. What material would I go for? I'd 100% go for ductile. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can get scrap brake discs to make it in cast iron or whatever you want. Obviously we don't really use brake discs. We use pure ingots, because yeah, 300 maybe pound a ton or whatever, cheaper, or whatever the price is at the moment. Is that really what I want to be doing? No, but would I go ductile? Because you can weld it, you can do more to it, and it's obviously a lot stronger. If someone hits it, it'll bend before it'll crack, so it'll last longer. So we'll see what that happens with that. I'm ready to turn the lights off. Good night. See you in the morning for a nice knocking out session. Who needs the gym when you're working a foundry? No, gym tonight, but let's go. So it's Friday, end of the week. Busy day. Steve's bored, as you can see. Look at him. This is what happens after doing a week worth in the blaster. I don't even know if you can hear what I'm saying. But all the pipes, he'd come before and picked a pallet up. All the pickle ones are getting picked up Monday. The blanks, etc., they're getting picked up Tuesday, which is great. He's also going to go and do his delivery as well, which nice one for him. Helicopters are above. Castings, knocked them all out there, all looking pretty sound. Some that we're not happy with, so on the plate sides, all the ones I've done have look all pretty sound. No flash as well, which is fantastic. A little fettle around it and the job's done then. Obviously you've got to get them out. The plate ones we're not really too happy with. We haven't ran, the runner was a bit crap, so we've got to replace them. But obviously we've got more SD to do, because this is what I'm trying to do when I'm trying to video these. Ugh. He's nearly finished them. They're all done, and then it's straight back onto the wagon parts. But so far so good. Yeah, we'll just replace them, because some of the big blocks which are in there, which are there, over it. Them engine blocks there. Soon you're in. Hello. What? There we go, that's better. So some of the engine blocks, they were 90 kilo, we've weighed them. bit of a difference from 40. But we just said, I'll be back 40, you know. So there's two, we've got to cast them as well, an SG, ductile or whatever people want to call it. But I've got to do these fire bars, brackets, they've got to be done and get out next week. So let's get moulding. So these are centre carriers, that's what they actually are called. So 2 in a box. Me and David having a little discussion because he thought I should have done them the other way with the cores on the outside, but I went, no, I'll do cores on the inside and do them slightly offset. So while ramming it up, what you got to do is ram the cores up as well. So there's 7 cores in each centre carrier, and I've got 3 core boxes. Two of them have 3 in each of the little round black one parts, and then there's like a longer one. So we ram them up as we're ramming it up, and then as we do this half, we also ram them up. So little silver things we got in the corners, they're our little homemade little nudges. Saves us scraping them out, so it makes our life a bit easier. Obviously sanding the joint back down there, because obviously sand gets everywhere, doesn't it? It's only tiny sort of a thing, isn't it? So we got to clean all that up so we get a better joint and a better casting. Little rub it down. Obviously my boards aren't perfect, obviously the boards have been used multiple times. Boxes all have bars in, that's going to help keep the casting straight and also helps when lifting them, you know what I mean? So you've got a bit more strength. Ramming it up, the top half up, while obviously I'm doing that, obviously I'm doing the course. That's why I weren't paying attention with the sand and it was spinning everywhere off the machine. But obviously you just ram it up straight forward, there's nothing really to it. Then we have our big plank of wood, boom, bang, top it off. Then we've got to open it, a little puff of white there, parting powder there. You can see the parting powder on the top. Turning it over, and then that's the top, putting it on skids because we've got to drill it anyway. So let's get them out, let's see what the moulds look like. Little wood screws in, pulling them out. Sometimes you've got to hit it with a little hammer because obviously what's the special word? The sand gets tighter around it. Putting runners in. I went for 2 runners on each because obviously quite long and heavy-ish, so I needed them to run. I think they're about 40 kilo roughly each off the top of my head. Putting the little cores in. You could actually probably do these without the cores, but as in it would already be in the pattern and then you wouldn't have to do it, but you wouldn't have a square straight edged core as they are vertically. You'd have to have taper on them. Takes its time doing this as well. Obviously I've fast forwarded this by 10. Realistically you're probably looking at 20 minutes finishing this box, but it is what it is. Obviously while you're doing that you ram another one up, so obviously while that sand's going off you're finishing this one. Obviously time is money, the quicker we can get the jobs done obviously the better as well. Then rubbing the top because there was little dints in the pattern, so we needed it to be completely flat. We don't want all the imprints to show. Little whistlers just to indicate us when the metal's up on these ones, and also releases all the gases. Mould coat, putting that on, got to keep blowing it out because sometimes with the mould coat it's either dead thin or dead thick, and obviously if it's a little bit thick it gets stuck in the grooves, and obviously I don't want that because it doesn't give a square at a finish, it gives it more of a fillet, and I don't want to fillet on this. And then my favourite part, trying to find the lighter, and then finally light it. Yeah, you can't beat the fire bit, especially if it's on a colder day, it can warm you up a little bit, but it's all part of the fun and games. What that's actually doing as well is burning all the spirits off and leaving the mould coat, baking it on. So when you go to cast it, it stops the metal from eating into the sand. Loads of foundries use different types. At the moment we're using the brown one, which obviously we call gravy. Got to try the box on, making sure it fits, because obviously the cores, we don't want anything being proud. Putting our glue on, after we tried it on, I was watching the horse racing, making sure it was nice and flat. And then what I'm doing with this now is clamping this one, because with the metal in the bars in the box, obviously it's going to help it, it's going to keep it squeezed down, keep it tight. Don't want metal coming out the box, do we, when we cast it, because let's be honest, that can't. So
what I was saying there is that can happen when the metal comes out of the box. It's happened many times before. Normally when people come in and film, metal, something goes wrong, but that's the life of working in the foundry. But that's the end of MC Weekly episode number 12. I'm going to say, don't forget, give us a like, give us a comment and subscribe. Showing these old fellas the modern world and keeping it going. The wheels of industry must carry on, as we always say. Casting's made in this country, bringing it back to the old school, you can't go wrong. But much appreciated.